All right, mic check, mic check. More Than Masters podcast. I was made of course. I'm back in a episode of More Than the Masters. I got a special guest across from me, Miss Karen Gordon. How you doing?
I am wonderful.
And as always, she brought a friend, Miss Judith. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
I guess I won't be rude. Like, let's start with you. Like, just tell me how you know Karen and her coolness. Talk about that real quick.
Well, the coolness interrupted my life probably 15 years ago. I think so, yeah. Yeah, just saw her. She fell in love with me. I fell in love with her. And we became sisters.
There you go.
And I worked a lot with her with Garden City Jazz.
Okay.
I fell in love with that. And, we were all over the CSRA chasing jazz dreams.
Mm-hmm. I do got a funny question, though. I had to ask this question now. You said that. You brought it up. Have you ever heard Miss Karen Gordon sing?
Have I heard her sing? But of course. I love to hear her sing. She doesn't sing enough for me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you said that because somebody had asked me. I said, well, she a musician. She sings. Like, she sings? I said, yeah.
Plays the stuff out of a piano, too.
That's what they said. They said, I see her play piano. They said, when I go to her events, she walked the room. I don't see her sing. I said, well, she passed that now. She be booking other people and stuff like that. So
yeah,
you got to get back out there and start singing, Miss Karen.
It's above me now.
She makes us.
She's too cool
to
sing now. This is crazy. See what happens?
She makes the world miss her. I like that sort of kind of, but not really.
You got any footage of you singing at all, anything like that?
I have some.
Would you like my iPhone? I can give it to you. No.
Yeah, please. Just Bluetooth it over or something like that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah. I have never heard her sing, so I know she can. I can look at her and tell she can sing. But I've talked to people. Yeah.
She has the sexiest voice
I do
ever.
This is what Karen does. Though. Like when she coming and she is very. She don't want the spotlight on her per se. Like she'll bring somebody else to put you in the spotlight. She done it with me. I've seen it all the time. She'll bring somebody on. All the time she does that. So singing, I haven't heard her sing, but I heard AE sing all the time. So I guess that's the consolation for not hearing her sing. I've heard AE sing a million times.
AE in the building. That's who you need to hear is AE. AE the cool.
So before we get into what I want to get into later on, just talk about, because we haven't spoken in a little minute, but like on camera at least, on the podcast. But the last one you did was really, really good. People loved it.
I think, what were we? I guess we were talking about UPW then.
Just regular. No, UPW we did two. We did UPW. That was one. Then the next one we did, you just was being cool. We had the light off. It was just light on you in a dark room, and we were just talking about everything. About almost 2 hours, just talked.
Oh, okay.
Downtown, uptown, back in the days, future. It's a good podcast. Yeah.
We did talk about a whole bunch of things.
We're just talking. It was great. Everybody loved it though.
Okay, cool. Man, it's been an interesting year. This 2023 has been 2023ing, but we're still working through it. We're still making magic happen. In the metropolis of South Augusta, I'm very excited to be here, in the community, that kind of thing. Got my, goat babies. We had 5 goats born in February. And
I'm sorry. When you started dealing with goats though?
In 2021.
The animal, not me. The animal. When you started dealing with goats.
It was in the summer of 2021.
Okay.
We started.
Oh, okay. Like COVID, I guess, right? Around that time?
So during COVID, we started to really shift toward, because there was no music happening. It's COVID's fault that you haven't heard me sing. That's what it is.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Shifted from music to farming and agriculture and that kind of thing. And I met this young lady at one of our farmers market events. And I was doing a plant swap or something like that. I was selling vegetables and I was doing a plant swap, but I didn't have no plants. So she came to swap plants, and so we talked for a minute, and she told me that she got goats and chickens and cows and all that. And so we connected, and I was curious. I was goat curious. And I started with 2. I met her on Juneteenth, 2021. I started with 2, and then Kig and I got 10 goats together, and then we split them between his
Somehow,
parents.
some way, I knew Kig had something to do with this story.
has-
I don't know what it was. I was waiting for Kig to enter the story. I just knew somehow, some way, he had something to do with this.
Yeah. So he's so we started that way. Matter of fact, some of the goats that we got were pregnant, so we had more goats, and it just kind of took off from there. So now I've got 14, and he has 17.
Is that where you be at when you be live? Sometimes you be with the goats. That's where you be at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still slinging vegetables. I thought you was doing that.
Yeah. I don't do very well with the vegetable part, so I've really been focusing on like edible landscaping, food deserts, all that kind of stuff.
But like, what got you into that part, like agriculture? Because that wasn't something I'd known you to be doing until COVID happened.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Carla Walker, she roped me into this whole thing. She has been working with Augusta Locally Grown and doing some growing in Harrisburg.
Mm-hmm.
And we hooked up when she moved. When I moved to South Augusta, we hooked up, started going to community meetings, and we wanted to do a thing together. And so I wanted to do a series of concerts on Black-owned farmland. And we did a pitch for a grant, and it was her thing, right? Because this is what she does. And then she got sick, so she couldn't complete the project, and so I took it on.
Okay.
I think she tricked me.
Probably so. But then, I mean, you probably you be into everything, Miss Karen. I don't know, like you do it all. You kind of be a part of every single thing.
Yeah, busybody.
Arts, music, everything except sports. I know
Right,
you
yeah,
kind of
I'm
not touching the sports, but yeah. I sometimes, I had to text Karen one time because I had like 4 or 5 sports episodes back to back. I said, I'm coming to the arts, I promise. I just need to get these sports ones off. And I got it right. I'll be in the arts. I'll be in my arts bag a lot. Just because I know she watching. I know she real big on arts.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say you anti-sports. You pro arts.
I'm pro arts. That's what it is. That's what you say
now when you say pro and you just
yeah.
you just go
I like that.
That's what it is. That's cool.
Okay, but and with the agriculture and on the goats and stuff. So I see you say be fighting with them. What does that mean when you say you're fighting with the goats?
Okay, so it means I'm literally fighting with them. So,
you're not fighting the goats, though.
Well, I'm trying to get them to do what I need for them to do, and they're stubborn, so they don't want to do that. So, I remember I did say I lost a fight. I lost a fight with one goat, or no, it was actually 2 goats that I lost a fight with. But when the ladies are in heat, then the guys are trying to get to them, and they don't care who is there or whatever. They're gonna take some people out, and I'm usually that person. I think I've fallen and they've been dragged a couple times, but it's
Oh man, we gotta get footage out there. Get some footage out there, man.
No,
That'd be great.
You don't want that. You don't want no parts of that, right there.
It's a guy I know. He was younger than me, but he got chased by a goat, and that video went viral. It was in Augusta.
I saw it. It was on Brown Road.
Yes, down there. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And most of all except for one of my goats are hanging out over at Brandy's place. She's got a farm on Brown, and she let me know last week. I saw her last week, and she let me know that our goats were fighting in the middle of Brown Road.
Oh wow!
And she was like,
"Do you know the names of the goats? Like you know each one by name? Like, and how can you tell them apart? You paint on them or they got name tags, chains?
The collars. I put collars on them. So
like a color or
yeah.
Okay.
So when we first got them, I named them after the color of their collar. So blue, yellow, orange, gray.
I could deal with that.
Pink.
Gray. Stop. I can see that.
Yeah.
So, okay, that makes sense. So their names are colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's fairly simple. Okay, 14 ghosts is a lot to names to remember.
Yeah, and we couldn't. We got them all at once, and I was holding on to the 10 until they were at his parents' house. They got their fencing and everything together. And so we would joke about, hey, you need to come over here and pay your child support for these babies over here. Because I need for you to take it. I'm like, bro, I have no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely no idea.
Well, I know one thing you do know when you're doing it is event planning, right? So I didn't get a chance to come this year. There was a lot going on, but Arts and the Hearts, how was that this year?
It was good. It was. Let me see.
Was it better than last year?
Let me think. It was. No.
I had a time last year. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if that was the best one ever. I can't call it, but I just felt like the atmosphere, the band I saw, which I still haven't got a podcast with them, but I'm gonna get it one day. I promise.
Okay.
That's my gift to you. I'm gonna do them at some point. Just gotta get it right. But yeah, it was. I went twice in a day, and it was phenomenal both times. Only thing I like was the food wait. The wait for the food was just insane. But other than that, it was great.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I think last year was better because I had to work really hard last year. And I worked on it for a long time. I was really intentional with who I talked to last year. This year, not so much. It was a lot going on. So I was like, let me just go ahead and do this thing, get it done. But it was cool. I attempted to spend more time exploring the festival. I did do that, so that was a good thing. But
well, that's funny you said that, because I had Trues on, and he's mentioned that you had told him that you were going to stop by the show, and he said you spoke to him after the show. It meant a lot to him that you actually watched and saw him. So thank God you did that, because you know how Trues gets some time. So just you doing that meant a lot to him. I could tell how he spoke about it even after we stopped filming. He kept speaking about it. So
that's cool.
I get the picture. She came and watched the show. I got you. I got you.
That's awesome.
So
I was excited for him. It was really cool.
Yeah, and then like I said, with the arts, and you care about the art community so much, and the people in the arts community. Even him, the year before, that had a kind of trying year. It just like every time he talked, it just was the wrong thing,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to have that 2-hour conversation with him, and people like it, and he get a lot of love he getting now. I'm happy for him that happened that way. So
he was on the big stage.
Okay.
On the global stage. He
had a band.
He did a hip hop set with the live band, which is something that has not happened at the festival before.
Very
nice. And it was really good. I was super proud of him.
Yeah, me too. And that's what he's hanging his hat on right now. That the fact that it was a band, and I don't think he's going back to that. Just throw the beat on and hands up and down. He ain't doing that. He likes the band. He likes that.
Yeah,
he likes that.
I watched it. It was 2 hours and two and a half hours.
A long time. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. So.
Yeah. I worked 10 hours that day, so I went there from work. I was thinking 90 minutes, right? But after the first 10, I said, you ain't gonna get 90 minutes. You could just tell. You could tell when somebody wants to get stuff off their chest and stuff like that. So but speaking of like just years, like in my own mind, like kind of diving into, but this year hasn't been, I guess, the best year so far, I guess, for you. Maybe it has. I don't know how you would gauge it. Just a trying year.
It's been a challenge. It has been a challenge for the family. We lost my mother in May. Suddenly, she passed away suddenly. She had gallbladder cancer. That was difficult because we didn't see it. We didn't see it coming, right? And we felt powerless because there wasn't anything we could do.
Understood.
So that was that. She was our everything. I got 5 siblings, 3 boys and 3 girls. We're really close, and we pulled together even closer when she was ill. And we're working. We're still working through it. Trying to figure out, just trying to figure it out.
That was one thing I noticed. Like, of course, we all sit back, we watch, and and honestly, when something like that happens, it's hard for me to reach out to somebody because I don't know what to say, and I don't want to sound like everybody else. So a lot of trying to watch from a distance, but I also watch you. You kind of still moved. You just kept going. You know, it seemed like.
Yeah, I think it was easy. It was easier to work. You know, I enjoy working. I enjoy being busy. And we just, you know, we had, you know, but between the six of us, we had each other, right? So it wasn't like just one or two people who were doing all of the work or who are handling everything. So we we it was a way to take my mind off of things, although I know I gotta deal with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had time to like deal with it and just you know, take my time, go through these however many stages of grief there are. Yeah, so it's been a journey. It's
Yeah.
been a journey. Yeah.
And I don't know if that was the first time. I know for me, I only did it once. I don't know even for you. That was your first time experiencing like some like that great of a loss, or that.
Yeah. My father passed in 97. 97. We weren't close, but we became close towards the end of his life. He was a musician.
Mm.
You know, that's where we get our musical talent from. But we didn't grow up with him in our lives. So he came to us towards the end. So when he passed, it was sad, but I didn't have a relationship with him like that.
You know, you can interview somebody 10 times and you just feel like sometimes they just throw something new out there. I did not know that. And if you said it before, I don't remember you ever saying that before.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, that's the first time. You spoke about having a dad, but you didn't say that part. You learn something new every time somebody speak. When he came back, what was your feelings like him coming back? Were you happy, sad, accepting?
It was weird because, oh my goodness, my mother raised us, right? Almost not single-handedly, because we had a stepdad for a while who was actually ill at that time as well. Shortly thereafter, she when he came back, he had throat cancer, and so he was getting radiation treatment at MCG. So while he was doing that, he moved in with my brother, Wycliffe. And when Wycliffe was on the road or unavailable, then I would take him to his appointments. And it was weird because I'm like, I don't know this dude, right? It's, but he's my father. But my mother, she helped us to take care of him, and I couldn't understand that. I was like, this dude left us and been gone, and now he's ill and cooking for him. And it was wild. I just couldn't understand it.
But I guess to me that speaks a lot to the type of person your mom was as well.
Yeah.
Like just not having no ill hatred, ill will, and if she didn't show it, but just seeing somebody needing her, and I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happened in the past.
And she was a caretaker. She looked out for folks. Like, we've noticed it, especially in her absence, that there are certain conversations that she would have with each of us, the relationship that she had with each of us. Now she's gone. Now we got to navigate our relationship to each other, and that's difficult. That is hard. I'm like, dude, I don't really like you all that much. I was like, this is crazy. So there's that aspect of it too.
And I don't know if you're saying this, but I know and everybody different, but you got multiple siblings and you got a mom, right? I do know that sometimes that mom serves as like a conduit to y'all having conversations without having them.
Yeah.
So I just spoke about that when I did Ken's a little while ago. My mom, my sister will call her. My mom might complain, right? About me. Nothing I necessarily did, but she just ain't gonna say it to me. So she'll complain to my sister.
Oh, yeah.
My sister called me.
Yeah.
And just go talk to your mom, say sorry. Da, da, da. So it's like, and then when I get my mom, I might text her, say, hey, you need something, da da da. But you fix stuff through other people. So she didn't tell me she had a problem, but to my sister she had a problem. So I just fixed it because I know she had a problem.
Yeah.
And I guess now without that, you have to speak more, or
Yeah, we have to. We do, and especially when it comes to like handling the affairs and everything like that. Um, we we have what we call the girl, 3 girls and 3 boys. The sisters get together, the brothers get together. We have our own thing, and we do what we call a sister conference call periodically, just to kind of check in with each other. We don't really talk as much to the brothers, but we have been since mama passed. We've been trying to kind of stick together. There was one thing she said she wanted to make sure that we did, and that was stick together.
I know I asked you when you first came here, but I have to ask again just to make sure I'm clear. So, and to me, I know you, so I'm not saying this to like discredit somebody else.
Yeah.
But I guess your brother, Wycliffe, your brother,
Uh-huh.
that's the Gordon. That's like the popular one, I guess.
Right, Wycliffe.
So I'm thinking it's you the whole time, but you speak of him in ways, and I hear about him, and I see him all the time, and it's not see him, but
Yeah.
pictures or I hear him talk about him. I'm like, well, why are you not talking about Karen? Like,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
I always thought that. But today, let me ask her real quick. But so that's that's like the popular.
Right.
Like for me, like my brother is the popular one. I'm just Bobby.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is. And he's I'm more popular. That's your favorite word.
Yeah,
More
something
popular
like that.
here in town, but he's very well known all over the world.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So
He's well known.
very well known.
Got you. It's a difference, I guess. Popular and well known. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which one would you take if you had to pick? Which one you think is?
I think they're relative. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I have to ask somebody that's well known. I don't know. I don't know how that feels either.
He's the bomb. You know, he's this amazing musician, teacher, composer, educator, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, all those things.
Yeah.
He's pretty amazing. Yeah, he alright or whatever.
I don't know. I be seeing him everywhere. I can't.
Be
I said,
alright.
whether it's a show or whether they talk about a show he having outside
Yeah.
the city, country, whatever. I just seen him in places that I know are important places,
Yeah.
and I've seen his picture there. I'm like, how did he get this?
Oh
If
yeah. Oh,
Karen's a sister.
no, he's something serious.
Yeah, nothing to mess with. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, yeah. He is.
That's cool. What's that like though? Like, how's that being the sister to?
Famous musician. It's interesting. You know, when I started, Cliff says this when he's doing a show and he's introducing me or he's bringing me up to do a tune. That for the longest time, wait a minute, make sure I get it right. I was known as Wycliffe's sister for the longest time, forever. I mean, I used to, matter of fact, I sent a text to somebody that said that, hey, this is Wycliffe's sister.
Can't escape it.
It was like, and now he's like, whenever he plays in town, people refer to him as Karen's brother. So
I like that. Full circle.
But as far as worldwide, he's a number one trombone player in the world. He's won that consistently for about 15 years or so.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Maybe you should tell him come and do the podcast. Just
Okay.
hook me up a little bit. I don't know.
I got you.
It'd be nice to have number one in the world. I mean, that's can't beat that.
I got you.
I would like to have Karen's brother on the podcast.
We're gonna get Karen's brother up in here.
Yeah. So I want to kind of jump over. I'm gonna start with you, just talking to you if you're okay with that. So when Karen said she brings somebody on, I never asked who. I feel like it's Karen. What can you do, right? She said she brings somebody. She brings somebody, right? Then. And she waited. Let me tell you about Karen real quick. Yeah, I got time. Let me tell you about she broke this up in pieces. So I never knew exactly what she wanted to talk about, what we were going to talk about. Up until maybe 30 hours ago, I didn't know.
Sounds very Karen-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It really does. Now I think about it. And so earlier when she texted me, I sent her a little clip of something just for her. And she said, "That's deep." Right? I said, okay, well, the clip was kind of deep because it was about her. And then when she started talking, what she talked to me about, I said, okay, well, that's deeper than what she was talking about. But it made sense why that was deep because, whenever we're going to talk about what we're talking about, I'm assuming everything is more emotional now. Maybe. I'm just assuming. I can't speak on that, right? So if we can, before we get into her, if we get into you, to my knowledge, you are a 2-time
I am.
breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
Now that's deep.
That's deep.
Very. Can you speak at all a little bit about just the first time? Let's start there. Like, and what was your mindset like? How did you find out? Like that process.
Okay. I was 44 years old at the time. No history of breast cancer in my family. Routine mammogram. And I was shocked, to say the least, and scared. I was all over the place. Emotions. Just couldn't figure it out. Being that young at that time, it's very important as a woman. Those ladies are very important to our being, who we are, who you all love.
Chill out.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it was a crazy time, but I'm very thankful for all of it because I'm still here, number one. I met a lot of people. A lot of people helped me. There were so many angels God placed around me. I'm not from this area. I'm from North Carolina, but I lived here for 24 years. So it's like a second home. And I was just shocked. I didn't believe it. And then once the shock wore a little thinner, I felt like I need to fight for everything, just to stay alive, be around, enjoy my life. I wasn't ready to die. So I fought like hell. And with God's help, I made it. Then it was weird because 9 years, 11 months, came back again on the right side. I initially was on the left, then on the right. And then my instinct with that was saying, I don't want to die. I want to stay here. So I'm going to do everything to remain here.
When the first time, I want to talk about the fighting aspect of it. So I hear about it, you see it, whether it's portrayed in movies or biographies or somebody speaking about it, but I haven't ever seen it up close in person, but I've heard. And I hear it's like it's tiring.
It's very tiring. Chemo, powerful drugs. It kills bad cells, and it also kills the good cells that are fooling around with the bad cells. So I was nauseous a lot. The other thing I had to do was losing my hair. That was important to me as well as my ladies. But I can remember after the second dose treatment, and they told me then it's that's when you'll start to lose your hair, and I did, and it was just hard to see it fall out, come out, roll down the shower drain. So I went ahead and cut my hair and all off. And then I didn't like the way I looked. I was very emotional because I didn't have hair and I thought I wasn't attractive. I had a husband at the time and I just felt really awkward without it. So one day when I had taken a shower and most of my hair was gone, and I would always try to avoid mirrors. I'd get in the shower and I'd get out and I'd turn my back to the mirror because I didn't want to look at it. So one day I did that and then I went on the opposite side of the house. And what did I run into? A mirror. And distinctly heard God say to me, do you want to stay here with no hair or do you want it flowing down your back and you're going to die? So I made a decision then that I wanted to live and I didn't want to die. And God replaced every hair on my head. And now I really don't even care about hair because I keep it cut short all the time now anyway.
Yeah, right. Look at that.
Yeah, so I had to deal with my vanity. But it was okay. I came out okay.
But that first time, and I know you talked about not wanting to look in the mirror. I don't know if you know any other people that's dealing with breast cancer and nothing like that, but is that a major factor, like insecurity with yourself? Like not even the health aspect of it. That's just the health aspect, but the emotional and mental aspect of it. Of like I don't feel pretty anymore.
Of course. I mean, we're women, your hair is a man's glory. Men love hair. So that's what you think about. But again, at the large scheme of it all, it doesn't even matter about your hair. If a person loves you, they're gonna love you for who you are, not your hair.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're young, you think about it. I'm 62 years old now, so it's like hair is the least of it. I want to be healthy.
Right.
If I could just go in a store or order it on Amazon, that's what I'd buy.
If you can't all right, and describe that time. Describe when you beat it the first time. Like what was that feeling like?
7 rounds of chemo.
I'm sorry. When you say 7 rounds of chemo, what does that mean? I know what a round, but give me like a how long did that mean? What's a round?
When you go in for your treatment, it's about 3 hours. Depending on the type of cancer, the severity of the cancer, the staging of the cancer, that depends on the length of time that you'll have a treatment, 1 to 3 hours.
How often?
Depending on the type of cancer, severity. So the first time I was stage 3, the second time I was stage 1. The first time it would be about 3 hours for the infusion. They'll insert a port, which is a device where they won't have to stick your arm each time for blood and labs and the chemo itself. It's just easier if they connect the port to one of your veins so that the medicine can be distributed through your body.
That's deep.
Yes,
That's a lot.
But the thing is, when you go in that room, everybody is dealing with the same thing. So you feel the connection of the people in the room. And I always had a prayer posse with me. Things are different now. You can't take a lot of people in the room, COVID, germs, all these things. But at the time, you could take a lot of people in, and I always wanted some praying people with me to help me. So, yeah.
So when you hear during this time, were you optimistic that you would beat?
Oh, no doubt. I had days now, don't get me wrong, because it had spread to my lymph nodes. I got that call. That wasn't easy. But I did because of the people that I had around me, surrounded myself with. This is not a time for negativity or people to paint a picture of doom and gloom. When that comes by you, you say goodbye to it. You got somewhere to go, you got something to do, you're not feeling well, you get off the phone, you stop text, you can block them now.
Yeah.
You just don't entertain it because you're so emotional. Those medicines make you so emotional. The least little thing, I'll tell you one thing someone said to me, I'll never forget it. I don't like it, but I guess it stayed with me. And it's ignorant, but it was truthful from them because they didn't know what else to say. And sometimes if you don't know what to say, just don't say anything. But when I lost all my hair before it started to come back, and a lot of people didn't know that I was sick. I wasn't ready to discuss it. You can't shut me up about it now because, but at the time I just wasn't ready. Close friends, family. And the person said to me, "Oh, you don't look like you have cancer." Well, what do you look like when you have cancer? I'm not sure. They didn't mean any harm. I just didn't like it. And then I thought about it and I was like, but they didn't mean, to be hurtful. Well, it was hurtful because I'm not sure how you're supposed to look when you have it.
But you learn it when you're young. If you can't, if you don't know what to say, don't say nothing at all.
Of course.
So it's kind of like, I get it. You know, they ignorant to what some, but then also I think too, it's the ignorance of like, they only going off what they see in movies. So if you're not
that's true.
crawling and, you know, got a walker, you ain't sick to them. And that's not fair.
Yeah. I had a favorite nurse in chemo. Her name was Judith too.
Oh, nice.
You know, when I go in there, you know, I want to be sharp, looking, you know, dressed. You know, the first time I saw her, I had on these little pointy toe boots. And she was very kind. And I said, hey, wait a minute. I said, look here, I'm going to tell you something. You hurt me, I'm going to kick you. She was like, that's okay, because I bite. She was the best friend to me, and I always asked for her when I go in the room, and I really loved her. She passed away. Her husband had bought her a motorcycle for her 50th birthday, and she had a horrible accident. And she, you know, she stayed in rehab for the longest, you know, just trying to get back. In 2012, December 2012, she passed away. But I always remember her because she was so kind to me, and she made me feel at ease. And it was two Judys in that office, so they was like, well, which one are you talking about? The crazy Judy? I said, yeah, that's the one I want.
The one that bites.
Yes, the one that bites.
So you beat cancer. From that point on, are you at this point? I don't know the word activist, but I'm not gonna say that. Is it? Do you create awareness at that point? From that point on, as being a survivor. So you survive. I'm sorry, not activist, survivor. I mean, that's the better word. I don't want to say the wrong terms. You know,
you become a survivor the day that you're told. To me, you know, some people look at it, you know, after the first treatment, after a year, after because I've been told that this thing is inside of me that shouldn't be. I want to survive, so I'm a survivor from day one. How you approach that and walk through it, you know, everybody's battle is different, and I know that's why God left me here twice. You know, I don't see it any other way.
When you start to, when do you start to join, whether it be the walks, whether it be talking about it to people, whether it be telling your story? Because I know at one point you said you wasn't ready. In the midst of it, you wasn't ready. So some people know you were dealing with it.
March 29, 2005, I was diagnosed. And between the surgeries and the treatment, I think I finished everything like the following year, or like a year later. I went to the walk in 2006 for the remaining years that I was here. Now, I didn't necessarily always walk, depending on how I felt, but I was there. Karen came with me a few times. But yeah, so I always represent. I know a lot of people don't know what their purpose is in life. Mine is to help someone with breast cancer or any type of cancer. But of course, I lean towards breast cancer. So I know that's the purpose why God left me here.
The second time, well, how did you feel then? And did you feel worse than the first time? Were you just like, oh my God, not this again? Or
they were really two different experiences. The second time I was still shocked because I had moved up my appointments early because I had just gotten a new job in 2015. So I thought I was just going normal mammogram, same as usual. And then when the results came back positive again, so I was really shocked. It was earlier this time. First time was stage 3, second time was stage 1. So I felt better about that part. Just a little confused. It was hard enough to lose the left breast, but then I had to start thinking about losing the right one too. So I think in hindsight, I wish I'd had both done. But 44 young, you know, those are your people, so you want your people with you. So it was different. So I only had surgery the second time, lumpectomy, no chemo, no radiation.
okay.
And since that was 2015. So it's been 7 years now. So I'm doing well.
Okay. Well, I'm always I like what you said about the survivor part, because we often look at survivors as people who didn't succumb to it, but once you got at that point, you surviving. So I do like that. I never heard of that. I never heard from that perspective. I don't think ever. So
Because you're always fighting. Cancer is a beast. It can pop up anywhere, anytime. And what my oncologist, Dr. Miriam Atkins, used to tell me, cancer does not care. So it can pop anywhere, anytime. But go to your appointments. Anytime you're feeling anything, call, get in the doctor's office. Don't put it off, because there's always a chance that it could come back. So I don't walk in that fear. Of course, I'm aware of it. I'm concerned about it from time to time. My oncology appointments make me real nervous, but you do what you have to do because you want to stay here.
Thank you for telling me that, and just telling your story on there. But that I wanted to do that on purpose. I wanted to purposely talk to you so we can swing it, because now we all kind of shocked. I mean, I am. I don't know if you are. I'm still shocked. I've been in shock since yesterday, But so Karen,
Yes.
I know that we spoke yesterday for a little bit, and you sent me some poems, haikus, like them kind of texts. I should have known something yesterday, because she texts like me, be in and out. We don't text often. It's like, and then that's it. She sent like 4 or 5. I'm like, okay, is she sitting down today or something like that? She not busy? And when I started reading, I said, I need to sit down as well, because this is not something I can just wait till 5 hours later and respond to.
Yeah.
So I'll let you. I'll let you kind of
Okay.
do the talking on here.
Yeah. So in June of this year, however many months ago, 3, 2, I'm not sure.
It's 10, says 4 months.
Yeah. Middle of June, I got. We're still processing, the loss of mama, right? And so I'm like, well, we're checking, getting everything, getting medical appointments. I usually have all my annual stuff on my birthday, which is in July, but I pushed everything forward so we can get checked. And I got the notice in mid-June of an abnormal mammogram.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't think anything of it, really. So they said, well, we need to come back and have you to come. I went to my usual, Medical Associates Plus. They said, no, we need for you to go to university. And I'm like, okay, well, this is serious. this is kind of serious. And they said, we see something in the left breast. So we want to order a biopsy. And I was like, well, that can't be good. So I had my biopsy on the 29th of June, and on the 7th, I was notified somewhere between then and July 7th when I met with my surgical oncologist. I was informed that there are cancer cells there, and so we need to do something about that. It was shocking. I was like, because I don't get sick. I'm out here in these streets, fighting goats and things like that. And I'm like, it's wild. And so I said, all right, let's do what we got to do. Met with my surgical oncologist, doctor, whose name was Karen. Also.
Oh, there we go.
Dr. Karen Ye, on a Friday, July 7th. And like the next week, she passed away. And I'm like, damn, what is this? It was just wild. I'm like, what is what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
I think I called you. I think I called you before I told my husband.
You did, and I was like, well, where is Clarence? First of all, you need to get off the phone talking to me.
And I was like, this is, ain't this a monkey? I didn't say that.
Yeah, you had some other words.
Yeah, I had my jazz words for that. And it's been we know that we did some more tests, MRI, and they spotted something on the right in the MRI, but it wasn't cancerous, right? Got to do another biopsy, which was not fun. It was not fun at all. But I was like, I am going to this hospital more in a month than I've been to any healthcare facility in my entire life. Just test and test and test, because Dr. Ye wanted to go ahead and knock it out, get it right on out immediately. We had some delays due to insurance and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of figuring things out. I've talked to a couple of people, got some advice on just how to process it, right? And the most difficult thing, I got to say this, I was like, okay, this sucks, right? This is terrible. This sucks. But the most difficult thing is that my mother's not here.
Mm.
That was the hardest part. That is the hardest part. Like, I've got people, I've got friends, I've got family, I've got a support system. My siblings are great, I mean, they are, right, or whatever. But I've got a strong support system. I've got, I'm good, right? But it's still difficult to, like all of it's hard. Figuring out like what my new normal is, because pandemic, we had to figure out a new normal in 2020, right? Earlier this year, when Mama passed, we got to figure out a new normal, and I'm like, geez Louise. I was going to use my jazz words.
You haven't even got time to get used to that new normal.
But yeah, it is that. That's exactly what it is. I have not had it, because I'm taking my time, right, with this whole processing thing, processing Mama's death, right? Got time, I'm not going to rush anything. I'm going to just let it happen, And then we got this, so I'm like, I can't really deal with that because we're here now. It's just it's wild. It's
a good therapist can help you navigate. A good one.
And I need to set it. I've gotten the approval for that, and I need to just make it call.
It works.
It works. And my siblings have suggested that I talk to somebody when Mama when she got sick. Because they're having some conversations too, and I was like, I'll get to it. And now I'm like, well, damn, I gotta get to it right now. So, and it helps. I know that it'll help me to just process and just think about it. I don't have this person to be objective. They won't just tell me what I want to hear, something to make me feel good. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, when you tell the story just now, I think that a key takeaway I took from that was that you called her, so soon, and then hearing her story, I kind of can understand why as well.
Yeah.
It's not just no respect to anybody who you didn't call, but you kind of see that person as,
Yeah.
You all right?
Running.
But you see that person as your rock. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're strong, so you want them to be strong, because at that time you kind of deflated.
Yeah.
You hear this news, you're devastated. So why not call someone who's been through it already?
Right. And I refer to Judith as the OG.
That's what she said when you came in. She said you were the OG.
So I bring my girl with me. She's the OG of of she's an OG breast cancer survivor. So she's done it a couple times, and she's helped several people through it also to kind of navigate. She's got a friend that she's helping. You're going to an appointment with someone on tomorrow. So she's
That's my mission work now. That's why I don't mind.
She put
I
in
enjoy
work.
it, in fact, because I know it is hard.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
just your state of mind. Like I know you're trying to be open about it at this point now to just speak. And but what was the idea behind like just some 3 months of just telling close friends, family, and then did you move any differently? Did you stop working as much? Or did you stop doing as much as you normally do?
That's an excellent question. I didn't really change. I did change a couple of things. I paid more attention to what I was eating. Nutrition. I paid a little bit more attention to that. I was intentional about moving around because what I've read is the recovery is a bit right. So I've been trying to. I've just been thinking about it differently and trying to we knew we had a little bit of time. Um, I wanted to do as much preparation as possible, and I know that's can't prepare for it, right? I
Right,
mean,
right.
the challenge has been like a thing that's just one of the things that um, I mean, I didn't stop working. Um, I didn't change my schedule with the exception of having to go to these appointments all day and every day and all of that. But that's um, pretty much how I handled it. Like I said earlier, I like working, and I didn't want to tell. I wasn't ready to talk about it, other than my family and to Judy, um, because I didn't want to have to talk. I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to have to talk about it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense to me.
I don't want to have this conversation like 60 times. So
Was there ever a thing of did you feel like if you said something too soon, too early, that people would treat you differently?
yes, yeah, I definitely felt that. And one of the reasons that I wanted to wait another week to get this surgery was because I had stuff that I really needed to. I felt like I really needed to do.
She
Am I supposed to be nice?
no, you're supposed to be you. You know, you're supposed to
Well,
be however you are because that's what's important.
I didn't agree with any of that.
She prefaced that, so I kind of figured that when she said it again, I said, "Oh, that I see now. I see now."
And I had to choose my words carefully. I said, it appears that you're going at a snail's pace. But on the inside, I was saying jazz words like, you need to go ahead and get this done. So that's just my little two cents.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it was. I didn't, I interact with a lot of different people, and I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. Right there's that, and I also was thinking about how to handle the business. That's really what it was. I felt like going into the appointments, there were so many of them, but one thing that one of the nurse navigators told me was that um, your job cannot legally discriminate against you because you have a medical issue. And I was like, that's nice to know, but I don't have a job. If I don't work, I don't eat. That's my thing now. And I believe Judy told me one. Judy and I almost fell out. She told me, she said, you got clearance, but you good, you straight. You don't need money, right? You didn't say that, but that's kind of where she was coming from.
Yeah, you taken care of.
You been taken care of. And I was like, I got you on that. You're absolutely right. But I'm really big on. I had to navigate. I'm really big on agency and the ability to do things independently. Not so much. I'm big on independence, true, too. But the whole agency, I was like, I really need to feel like I made this decision, and I feel like I made the best decision. So I wanted to wait another week. I wanted to wait till the week of October 9th. And so once my doctor told me, he's like, well, I mean, the nurse called and said, well, can't do the week of the 9th. Your plastic surgeon's on vacation, right? Can't do the week of the 16th because we can't get a room, can't get an operator. The earliest we'd be able to get to you would be October 27th, right? And so I'm like, okay, write it up, sign me up. And she's like, but your surgeon doesn't want to wait that long. So I had all of the things to say, all the thoughts about that. The surgeon doesn't want to wait too long. Okay, why my plastic surgeon got to go on vacation? He's canceled his vacation. Put me on. I'm like, work around it.
That's my first mindset, but then I also think like, everybody's human. It's like they probably work like all day. I don't know. So they probably do need that in order to even do their job.
Right.
That's not the person you want to be tired. I would think, right?
Okay. Well, when you say it like that, okay.
We need them alert at all times. They're gonna be touching and opening things.
Yes.
Yes.
But then, okay, so he got to go on vacation. Cool. You can't free up you can't free up an OR, right? Okay, bump somebody else out of there, put me in there. That was my, what?
You know what? I understand it from an aspect of, you're who you are, you're cool,
Right.
Karen Gordon.
I'm like,
But now you're a patient,
yeah.
You can't sing your way to a certain date. You can't put them on a bill here. Can't sign them up for a gig here. No, that's it. Can't let them borrow your goats. Ain't none of that. You gotta do it how they need you to do it, because every patient is equally important to them.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, Karen got work. That don't work.
I get you that you can't have it all, and I get that. But it kind of goes back to. I mean, I don't. It's not that I think or that I thought that that my work is more important than my health. It wasn't that, and I know it sounds like that. It seems that way, but I have a family member who had a stroke a few years back, and during his recovery, he was saying that after he was fully recovered, he let us know that the most difficult part about being in that state of infirmity, or the most important thing that he kept thinking about was, can I, do my thing? Am I going to be able to work? Am I going to be able to do what I believe is not?
Oh my God.
But listen, but
Where is the one?
if the work doesn't make me who I am, right?
No,
It doesn't.
Ma'am.
But if it is my purpose, then if I cannot fulfill, if that is my purpose, if I believe that is my purpose, I can't fulfill my purpose, then what am I doing? Let me go a little bit further with that too. It's not just what am I doing, but if I can't do the thing that if I can't do the work or the things that bring me joy, then what kind of a friend am I going to be? What kind of a mother am I going to be? How am I going to relate to my people?
If you are not healthy, you are not going to be able to help a goat, your husband, Bobby, me, no one.
I got
So
you.
what you do is important. I'm not trying to say it's not. What I'm saying is your priority has to be your health. This is a long time to wait for cancer. Cancer it grows rapidly. You want to get in there and get those things out. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you can heal, you can be back to work. But I get your mental reasoning behind it. Do I like it? No, ma'am. But it's your life. And once everything happens and you'll start to see different things unfold, angels will be all around you to help you do all of those things, even your work. But you don't see it right
even
now.
my goat babies. No, I do believe that. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying that I disagree. I just think it's something that is not talked about, right? I think it feels like it's the default to say, well, like if I say, listen, my work is hella important to me, and I need to figure out like how I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to be able to continue this mission, this purpose, this whatever. The response is always, well, you can't do it if you're dead. And
that's a real truth.
That's true.
Deep.
So it's funny because I said it to her yesterday when she said something along the lines, and I don't want to say nothing too much, but I do want. I think she's trying to say a part she said to me yesterday. It make more sense in the text. She said, what if it's not about the work? What if it's about the role that the work, mission, calling provides you as a person?"
And my answer, short answer, would be God. Because if he provided for you to have a business, family life, social life, whatever, your life's purpose, if he's provided, how old are you?
54.
If he's provided for 54 years and you're the beautiful woman that you have, and you're so blessed that you never had anything to go wrong in your life before now, I think he can handle it. I think he can handle 54 beyond. So a lot of times, when we process and think, we really don't know it all anyway, because as the old saying says, if you want to see God laugh, make a plan. So just like you were planning, I want to do it this time, I want to do it that time. He said, nope, no, no. Listen to me. First week in October, we're not going to the 27th. So that's, and a lot of times we don't listen. We don't want to listen because we want to do what we want to do.
Right.
But you're not in control. You're not in control of this cancer. Your job now is to be obedient, young lady.
How do you tackle someone? I'm gonna just use her because it's her. What if you tackle if she have what if questions? Like, how do you tackle what if? I know you mentioned earlier, like trying to shun out a lot of negativity, which I won't say like it's a negative thought. I think it's kind of common
Just
for
asking
that person
questions.
to say, well, what if? Well, what if? A lot of times, we're one dimension to someone. So cool, she's a coolness, right? And maybe our thought is, what if I'm not that cool after this? What if I'm not cool during this? What if I'm not cool?
You'll just be a different kind of cool. That's all. In fact, you have more of a superpower after, when you come through, tell your story, people see you and can see the power of miracles and what God can do, the power of medicine. What ifs are natural, but we have no answers to that because that's not, we're all a sum total of all of our life experiences. We have no idea. I didn't think at 44, I thought I was invincible too, actually. I was living my life doing what I want to do when I want to do it, Never really thought about it until something happens and you have to shift.
Yeah.
And when you shift, it doesn't feel good, but you have to. Because if you make a decision not to, and I know someone personally, because since I've been doing this life's work of helping this young woman, she doesn't want to have any treatment. She doesn't want to do any of the things. And she has a child. the child is in college. No, no, I can't. I don't understand it, nor will I ever. Why a person, the things and the technology and research and medicines that she has access to now weren't even, they were in the lab somewhere trying to figure it out.
Right.
I had two types of cancer the first time. One was a very rare cancer that only 6 people in the world had ever had at that time. So with everything becoming greater, better, she has a better chance than some woman did 30 years ago. Because 30 years ago, you're going to die. You got breast cancer, you're going to die. That's not the case now.
Like into I guess from years ago versus today, is it? I guess it's not less serious, but is the medicine just that much better now that it's not
More
as?
women live. God, I wish I had the statistics. More women live now with breast cancer versus dying. The numbers are there. I don't have them at the top of my head.
No, it's fine. I'll take your word for it.
They do. And a lot of other cancers too, not just breast cancer, because the medicines are better.
But it's nothing to like prevent it though. It's nothing you can do.
Nothing
really.
to prevent it, unfortunately.
That's I think that's the only thing about cancer that it's like you just get it. You don't. It's nothing
Exactly.
you really can
You're just
do.
living
like,
your life. It's not like you stumped your toe and.
I remember she was saying you ate differently for a minute, but I mean you could eat right and probably still that you know like before, like you can eat, you could be vegan. I don't know what the term is to be healthy eating, but whatever the healthy eating is, I don't do it. But whatever the healthy eating is, you know, you can do that and still get cancer.
The way I see it, it's like pesticides and all the things that are put in animals and the things that they eat. Is this scientific? I don't know. But that's just the way I feel about it because I think about like my grandparents. They lived well into their 80s. They grew their own foods, no commercial fertilizers or anything. And it was different. You know, they didn't have cancer like, you didn't hear about cancer like you hear about it now. It's like you hear about it all. I do all the time. I get calls, I get texts, inbox. Can you help my family member? You know, so that's what I think. I don't know if it's scientific or not.
So is that what you do? Like I don't know. I'm sorry to ask that question that way, but that's what you do now. Like you just
I retired in
Okay.
last December. But since I've been on my journey, that's what I do from 2005 until now. Every time if I hear from someone or someone lets me know, that's what I do.
Okay, you just help.
I just help anywhere I can. Yes.
She fussed too.
Oh, I do that too.
So thoughts wise, like, what are your thoughts for you?
My thoughts?
Yeah. Just know whatever you say, she's gonna say something. So I want that though, because I think also what we're doing is somebody gonna watch this that ain't said nothing yet, or that may go through it at some point, and this will be a reference to them as well, or that knows somebody that's going through it, and it's something that she's gonna say that they're gonna say, you know, I can take that back to this person.
Yeah, it's my thoughts and feelings have run the gamut from end of June to now. I'm optimistic about this thing. I'm ready to get it. I'm ready to get it started, get it happening. And I think the challenge, one of the main challenges, is just that we don't know what to expect. So I kind of know what to expect, but as far as how long the recovery is going to be, what's my mental/emotional state going to be during that time. But I've learned a lot in the past couple of months.
Well, let me backtrack real quick because this is what Karen does it sometimes. We spoke about things, but we didn't. I don't know because you said it off. I don't know if you want to say it on here, but do you want to say what the surgery is, or is that something you don't want?
Oh yeah, yes. So
it's only important because
no,
we
that's
speaking
cool.
about things, but they don't know what was actually going on. So I want to make sure.
Right. So I have.
And real quick, she said yesterday, she was like, "Yeah, I gotta have surgery." She said it twice to me, but not telling me nothing she was talking about. I kept saying, "Why she doing the surgery for?" I don't know what she kept saying. Yeah, because I got surgery. Let's do it this. I'm like, then it made sense. Like, oh damn,
Oh yeah.
it was
So
deep.
I have a mass in my left breast, and so this one definitely needs to be removed. So it's a mastectomy, is when they
Oh, that one thing.
mastectomy.
Okay.
So I know this one. This one was bad. This one is broken, right? So we got to get rid of it. This one is okay. There's a few little micro calcium particles in there, but there's no evidence of cancer at this point. So I had a choice to make on whether to just have this one removed and leave the other one alone, or to go ahead and have them both removed. Now, this one,
Miss Judith.
Judy. So of course, I'm calling Judy like, okay, this is what's happening. This is the size of the mass. This is, this cancer cells over here. Nothing over here. I mean, a little something. And she immediately said, "I'll just go ahead and just do both of them. You may as well." That's probably not the way the conversation went that quickly from 0 to 60.
That was 0 to 100 just now.
Yeah. Okay. But have them both done, then, for peace of mind, because you don't want to be wondering, am I going to develop cancer in my right breast? So if I were to do one, then I would have the left breast removed, then an implant inserted. The plastic surgeon is going to put an implant in, and over the course of however many weeks, they're going to inflate it till it gets to the size that I want it to be, that we want it to be. Correct me if I'm saying it the wrong thing. And then, so that's what, and then when we get to where we want that to be, then they will take this one down to hopefully match. That was my initial plan. That's what has to happen, because we need to get rid of the left, right? So I finally came to terms with the decision to do both. It took me a while to reach that decision, because I felt like I'm going to have this perfectly okay boob removed because of something that might happen, right? It might happen. It might not. So I'm thinking, I don't want to I'm trying to get as much information as possible. I don't want to make a decision like this based on fear of what might happen.
Mm-hmm.
So got a little bit more information, talked to a few more people, did some reading, and if I were to just have one breast removed, I'm still going to have surgery on the other one anyway. So I've got to get this one taken off, and then they're going to reduce this one. So I've got not one surgery, but two recoveries and all that. So I made a decision. I think I came back to the decision to get both of them done. I've been like back and forth, like.
Yeah, because you were just back and forth a minute ago. We were just talking, and I think she's still like, but it's new. It's not something you could just.
Yeah, and I think, all of it's like all of this is new. Like having to be poked and prodded and asked all the questions. Tell me your family history. One of the things that we learned when Mama was sick was that we didn't really know very much about our family history, right? Like, so as we prepared for the genetics test, they're asking, tell me how many of your siblings, do any of your siblings have cancer? Any of your parents, your aunts and uncles, cousins, grandparents? I'm like, I don't know, because we don't talk about that. I don't know if that's just a black thing.
That's very common, though.
That's
very common.
If that's just a black, it's like, when do you have those? Here's another thing too. When do you have those conversations? You can't just have a conversation when somebody gets sick. So, yeah. But I feel good. I feel good about. I'm not in love with it. I gotta have T-Rex arms for a little while. Can't. This is the limit. the limitations of my mobility. I don't love that.
With this, so what? I guess I'm just asking. I don't know. What the surgery supposed to do? Like afterwards, you be cancer free?
Let me tell you, I didn't say what it was, but what I'm having. I just talked a little bit about my process. I'm having a bilateral mastectomy, which means both breasts are going to be removed.
These some big
They
words.
are going to, huh?
These some big words. But go ahead.
Yeah. I just learned what it meant a couple of months ago. They'll check my lymph nodes to see if the cancer has spread to there, and we'll make decisions about how to progress based on the information that they get when they're in there. So one thing that the doctors have said is they can't like say what stage it is until they get it out, right? They come in and it's the placement of my mass or my lump is in a space where they can't just take the lump out, right? They can't just take the cancer cells out. They don't have enough room around it to just take the cancer cells out. So that's where to your question: will I immediately be cancer free? I hope so. To be honest with you,
Claim it.
yeah. And one of the things that I mean, just like Judy said earlier, that cancer is cancer, and my brother asked me this on the phone earlier. What's your chance for recurrence? I was like, I don't know. I was like, he said, did y'all talk about that? I was like, no, we haven't discussed that. I have when they're doing the surgery, as we get back to talk to the plastic surgeon the week after, and then the oncologist, and then the medical, the surgical oncologist, the cancer surgeon, and then the cancer doctor who's going to do the chemo component. We'll know then. I am claiming victory, right? Okay, I think I need to say that because Judy over here looking at me sideways.
But is that often? Like, is that common to have that kind of surgery before knowing anything, or is it like? Okay, I don't know. So I'm just asking because I've always, I guess, thought or assumed that when you went to do that kind of surgery, you kind of like knew.
You already know what they're dealing with.
I guess it's different for everybody. I'm assuming too.
I was going to say case by case, depending on the type and the severity of it. And you didn't say that you're HER2 positive, ER positive, so you need to say that.
Yeah, I
heard a lot of things.
I'm trying to make sure I remember. I'm triple positive, right? So that's estrogen, progesterone, and HER2, which whatever HER2 stands for. It's a protein.
It is a protein.
Okay. So so triple positive. I did. Thank you for sharing that with me, because triple positive is a little more aggressive than HER2 negative. Is that right? Yeah.
What that mean? Like, what is it? I'm sorry. I'm not. What do it mean when you say true positive? Like,
the growth.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like a type. Okay, the cancer.
The type of cancer.
Okay.
And the way it navigates in your body.
And that's more aggressive.
More aggressive than.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, more reason why you probably shouldn't have waited till the 27th, like you wanted to do.
I did. See.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
So I've got some. Even when we were looking at this date, my surgeon, Dr. Mondi, let me know that he would prescribe. He would recommend that I have like an estrogen blocker. Estrogen in the body, help me if I'm wrong, accelerates the growth of cancer cells. So when I was at my chick doctor a few weeks before all of this, she asked me if I wanted hormone replacement therapy. And and I said, yeah, because I was like, so menopause is kicking my ass, right? So, but
You didn't know at the time.
I didn't know at the time, but I
Okay.
didn't get it. She didn't, for some reason, I didn't get the prescription. I never picked it up.
So glad you did not.
So
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
I have an estrogen block. I'm taking an estrogen blocker now that's supposed to kind of keep things at bay. So I don't, but I, I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to come on your platform because I know that I can speak freely,
Yeah.
and I can and I got my girl with me, even though she's got some jazz words floating around in her head. But I don't like taking medicine. I don't like it. And that's something, it's a new normal that I've got to figure out. Like, I enjoy playing with my little goat babies, all of them. I enjoy throwing a newspaper. And so we gotta figure out what that looks like.
You know, not for nothing. I didn't even know that. I guess me not knowing everything either. Because when I was when the Urban Pro Weekly reached out to me and we spoke and all that stuff, the whole time I think I didn't even hear from Karen the whole time. Like, it was, but not knowing you dealing with what you're
Oh.
dealing with, you know.
Yeah.
Because the average person gonna think, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, they're gonna think, well, it was your choice. Like, oh, she like Bobby, so she put him on front, da da da.
Yeah.
But
I
we didn't
did.
speak the whole time, you know.
Yeah, right. So I had given Fred Benjamin is the founder. He and Ben Hassan founded the paper together. He still does most of the heavy lifting, and so I gave him a list of people that I wanted to feature.
Got you.
And so
And,
that happened.
and I'm glad because, like I said, I remember wanting to reach out. I said, well, let's sit down and talk. And I'm glad we didn't do it like I wanted to do it, because had you said yes, ain't no telling if you would have just came out and said it, and it wouldn't. At least we can kind of mold it here how we want to talk about it. But what I want to ask you is like when I asked what's your thoughts, I know you instantly think scared, or what you thinking is gonna happen, or beating it.
Yeah.
But I'm more so thinking about, like, is your mindset on your health, or is it on what you mean to, like, the community and things of that nature? Like, is
It's
that what is
it's
that, is that
it's
more
been
important?
it's been on both of them, actually. Because I don't, I've had some time to put some things into place, so that the things that are happening are still. I mean, I do acknowledge, right, that if I leave here, and when I leave here, the world is going to continue to do things. It's going to keep, somebody's going to do something else, blah blah blah. All those things that I'm doing now, I'm not the only one who can do those things. But I'm thinking about all of those things. I am thinking about my little grandbabies. I'm thinking about, like, one of the things that we talked about, siblings and I call them the sibs, or I call them the people. One of the things that the people talked about was, they asked, like, wonder if Mama knew that she was sick, and we don't know. We don't know whether, I mean, as sick as she was.
Right.
We don't know, and we've been trying to figure that out. There's no way to figure it out. But now that I'm dealing with this, I keep that in the back of my mind when it comes to sharing information. Like, I want to protect my people, right? My family, my kids, my friends. I don't want people to worry about me. Right. It's hard for me to ask for help. It just is. That's just a reality. But I think I've been thinking about all of it.
I know you said it's hard to ask for help, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with that. But it's also even harder for us, people that care about you, to not worry about you.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
it's just hard to not, you know.
Yeah. And I don't.
And I get it. You know, sometimes you want to withhold it because you feel like people gonna act differently towards you, whether they start reaching out more, and it's like, damn, you just reached out Tuesday. You know, I used to hear from you every other month. Now it's every day. But
Right.
naturally, that's our body, our mind tells us to do that.
You know, and I think I'm not sure if I'd said this since we've been recording or if I said it to you when I got here or on text, or even if I just said it to you in my mind, right? One of the challenging things to deal with in this situation is people are going to ask, what can I do? How can I help? And the reality is, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, what do you, that was the same thing was happening, like, I mean, for some, you know what I'm saying?
I get it, but embrace every ounce because the littlest of things, cooking, cleaning, running errands, taking your kid to baseball practice, or whatever it is, those things, you really shouldn't be doing any of those things until you're back at, 80% strength. So, in your mind, you're, planner, organizer. You think about all the things that you do inside your house, or all the things you do outside of your house, and say, okay, who can help me take care of this? Because just temporarily, it's not forever. This is just a temporary thing right now. But embrace all the help, because some people, when I would go to chemo, would have nobody with them. And that would break my heart because I had a posse with me.
Yeah,
If you
say that, that's
don't
deep to
have
me.
the love and support around you, and Karen is well loved in her family and her community. So you have to open your heart and just step back. No worries, you won't be able to anyway. So you just have to settle it up in your mind. You have no control of any of this.
Right.
So embrace it, because there are some people who don't have any help and no one ever offers. You're blessed. She has a great family that loves her, and she has a community of people who just jump in and say, hey, I got this temporarily.
Yeah.
And then once you get used to all the love and attention, they're going to go away and you'll never see them again.
Yeah, once you got it, either that or she gonna push me away. I got it now. I'm good to go.
It's like, they need to come back. They were helping me. I was like,
I was talking to someone, one of our family friends is a doctor, and when I told her, because she helped us to kind of navigate mama being sick, and her sister is a breast cancer survivor. She had a lumpectomy, and she just got a reduction, lumpectomy one side, reduction the other side. She said one thing to keep in mind is to, of course, take it easy, but even when you start to feel better, you're not better yet. So,
story. I just recently heard about someone doing the same thing. They started to feel really good after about 3 weeks, and it turned around so fast, setback. So it takes a long time for your inside to heal. We can cut ourselves and we can see the cut, and then once it grows back together and you feel okay, the thing is you can't see on the inside of your body. So it takes time. It takes time. Try not to go overboard. Once you do and you think you're big and strong, it will knock you down. You don't want that. You want to take every moment. If he says 6 to 8 weeks, make it 8. Okay. Even at 6, when you're feeling, ooh, you're pretty good, don't do it.
don't do it.
The last thing you want to do is be back in the office and on the operating table.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No,
we don't want no parts of that.
No parts of that.
I do want your opinion on this, and I'm just say what I told you earlier. So I had a friend who his mom had passed away from cancer. I don't know what kind, but she got away from cancer. And then his dad remarried, and the stepmom ended up having cancer. She beat it. So then the second time, it happened like 2011, something like that, she had got it again. And she told him, she said, I'm not fighting this time, right? I'm asking you this because I can tell what your stance is on that phrase and that gesture. But what do you say to somebody, even if it's not their first time, they're just the idea of going through it is like,
It's
I
hard.
don't want to do it.
I understand. It's hard. Um, you really have to respect people's rights to do what they want to do to their bodies. Um, it's not always ideal. You might not like it, but you don't feel the pain. You don't know about the nauseousness. You don't know about the weight loss. You don't know about standing in a closet and wishing you could put on some clothes that don't even fit you because you're just. Chemo is very hard on the body. In my first marriage, he had cancer twice as well. So I've watched it and I beat it and I watch it just defeat a person. It's not because of anything that you do or don't do, it's that mentally you're taking those drugs. I don't know if you have heard the term chemo brain. Sometimes you can remember things, sometimes you can't. You want to, you just can't. But cancer is one of the most devastating diseases that anyone could have. And because there are so many improvements, yes, but mentally, and then when you take care of someone who's gone through that, going through that, been through that, your body gets weakened. Your mindset is weakened. Your whole thought process is, you just keep wondering, is this worth everything that I'm doing to try to remain alive? So it can happen. The people left to deal with that is hardest on them. But again, they're not the person who's hurting or struggling or can't get up and go. You can't get up and go to the bathroom by yourself. Those things, humility and the things inside of you that you wish, it's degrading. I've been able to get up and go to the bathroom by myself for 62 years. Why do I have to ask somebody to come help me now?
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling. But the other side of that is, I thank God I got somebody that can help me get up and go to the bathroom.
I know a lot of this stuff is all perspective for the most part. No matter how you're looking at it, and whether it's you finding out how you feel about it, what you want to do about it, it's all perspective. And I know you said something earlier. You were saying one of the hardest parts about going through this is that you don't have your mom here, right, with you, right? And then I know we spoke, and you got thoughts all over the place. Whether you should do this, shouldn't do that, should do that. But the when it comes down to it is there are also people that want you here for if they have to go through something. Not
Okay.
saying you want them to, but if they do,
Yeah.
and you fighting to help you be here for them. Whether it's your kids or your grandkids, whatever that look like. I'm pretty sure, like just like your mom, what your mom is to you, you're that and more to somebody else, multiple people probably as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the perspective part of it is I think it's just looking at it from that aspect and taking yourself out of it, which is hard because it's hard to say take yourself out of it and you the one dealing with it. It's only yourself dealing with it. That's so
Right.
crazy, right?
Right. And that's, it was just, it's so, I mean, there have been many things that have been very difficult about this. Whether it is, figuring out how to navigate through the appointments, how to have conversations with the doctors and the technicians and, the insurance company, going through those kinds of things and essentially learning, a new language. I'm having to understand what these things mean. What does it mean? Um, why it's important to know about genetics, how that affects. Well, and my genetics test was normal and negative. So that was good for the breast cancer gene. Right? But it's a lot to process, and um, I've been thinking about what it looks like on the other side. What are some things that? 'Cause I have another friend who has prostate cancer. He's working through that, and he's doing some. He's starting like a support group or something like that. I'm wondering about all those things too. Like, where's a support group, right? Who can I
Pink
talk to?
Magnolias.
Pink
Piedmont
Mag-
has one.
Okay. Um, and are they going to be cool like me? I mean, that's kind of a question.
It's not too many people gonna be cool like you though. It's only
No.
one Karen.
So,
That's cool.
So it's been a lot of that. It I'm still working and working through this at the same time, and I am considering like how my family's doing. How Clarence and Scooter are processing all of this. Um, I made a decision to share what's happening with Scooter. Scooter's my 14-year-old son, and he comes with me to some of my appointments. Um, he chooses whether he wants to sit out in the lobby or come back into the exam room with me. So we're being really intentional about talking because um, we really haven't talked about health. We talk about money, how to save money, make money, but health and wellness is of the utmost importance, especially in our community as well.
What, if you can, what conversation up until now about the findings of the cancer have been the toughest, or which?
I think that the toughest part is knowing that we have to remove a breast. It's the making the decision to remove both of them, even though my friends try to cheer me up, right? They'll be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just it'll be great. You'll have boob equity. You won't need to wear a bra or anything like that." So that's really exciting for me. So sorry. Well, yeah, people need to know that. Won't need to wear that, and so um, I found myself going. We were cleaning and we're purging stuff, moving stuff around in the bedroom. And going through the closet, right? I had a whole pile of clothes that I was going to get rid of because I can't wear them anymore, can't fit them anymore. And some of those clothes, I can do that now because I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to have a whole different situation up here. So I'm excited about that. I just know I got to go through some stuff to get to the other side. So
As far as like because anybody watches and clips we put out, I'm pretty sure you'll get more phone calls and texts this week. So I'm pretty sure that'll be a week for you to check your phone and things of that nature. But
yeah.
what and I'll probably put this when I first meet. I don't know, but what is like, if you have it, what's like some do's and don'ts that you don't want? Like, now that people may know this, like what's some things that you just rather people refrain from doing, if that'll help you out?
That's a great question.
I try to ask those every now and then. Like
And
every 2-3
you
years, I
ask
ask a great question.
really great questions. I haven't thought about that.
This might be the time to say it, only because I just feel like,
What are some
what you don't
what are
like.
some things I don't want people to do?
Say to you the stupid thing they said to me. You don't
Yeah,
look like
yeah.
you have cancer.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it's funny because you say that, right? And then I'm thinking about me when you got the room and I was doing a podcast with Zacchaeus
Zacchaeus.
and Ben Hassan. Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking that I didn't say it out loud. Thank God you said that. I didn't think it out loud, but I was like, she didn't look, like, But you don't look like it. You don't. But I
Yeah.
do remember thinking like, you're not talking as much. I remember
Yeah.
that part, but I just didn't say
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. I had considered talking about it that day. But I chickened out and I called Zacchaeus.
And I remember her saying last time she was gonna bring in guests, and I kept saying, "What's this guest stuff she keep doing? This is new." But it was fine because I know how she is. She likes to put people on and give the spotlight, share her spotlight with somebody else. I was fine with that. But now it makes more sense now. Yeah, that wouldn't have been that, because then I don't know if I would have been able to do the other interview afterwards. Like I'd been thinking about that. 'Cause even yesterday, I was like, "Oh, it's on my mind all day." I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
yeah. And I knew that I needed to tell you.
I think I just sat back for a little while. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, just so you could frame everything. I know I didn't give you much time.
no, I don't
to,
need I don't need a lot of time. It's fine." But
Mhm.
because you never know, like it's just raw and real. I want
Yeah.
people to watch this to be able to it's cool to talk about it. Like talk about it because you never know what kind of help is out there for you or what's out there for you if somebody catch wind of, hey, this is what this person's going through.
I'm still thinking about that question you just asked. What do I want people to not do?
Cause it just might help. It might be something particularly like, look, don't call me every single day, but you might want them to call you every day. I don't know.
I think that's well. I know at least for the I'm going to have limited mobility for about 2 weeks. So I've been told to sit down, not do anything, right? Don't touch nothing, don't think of nothing, just sit down and relax.
It's going to be longer than 2 weeks, ma'am.
At least, well, let me rephrase that.
Oh, here she go.
Let me see. All right,
she go.
exactly. So, I mean, I'm going to have my T-Rex arms for at least 2 weeks, right? Because I'll have that. So I won't be able to do anything other than this with my hands. So, and then gradually I'll come, I'll make it back, make it back outside. But that's, I think I mentioned that because I'm not going to be, I'll have my phone, but I don't want to, the calls.
When is the surgery?
Tuesday.
Oh wow, okay. This is
Tuesday.
all right. When you said time, I'm thinking about for the interview. You mean time for real?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's it. I don't know. I think it's just because I just don't know what to expect. I mean, like I said before, I know kind of what to expect, but like, how is that going to? Yeah, and even some of the information, I like to have as much information as possible so I can make as informed a decision as possible. But it's been a lot of information, and some of it doesn't make sense right now. It won't make sense until you get in it, right? Yeah. So I'm just really taking things one day at a time, really. So
Surgery this Tuesday. Okay. That's so Tuesday. Oh wow.
Tuesday. Matter of fact, I've got a 5 a.m. Tuesday morning is when I have to show up.
Oh, when they're saying, I know you said you'll be kind of out of commission, or but when you think you'll be like back to like not 100%.
Not back.
I know more than 2 weeks. I know not what you're saying. I'm talking
probably 2 months. I think.
No, I'm talking about when you gonna pick your phone up again. Like when you look at your phone and scroll.
I'll say a week. I'll have my
okay.
phone. I'll have it.
Well, the good thing, because I'm thinking about when putting this out, and so you'll be having your surgery, and people might be texting you, calling you about the stuff, and that's fine. You ain't got to really deal with it.
Right.
But when you get back to your phone,
get my phone back, I'll be like, I'm not gonna answer. I've hooked up my email. I've got like it's on vacation mode. I set that up. I'm asking Judy to handle the Tuesday texts, the status. So I'm trying to work on those kinds of things. But I don't know. I think what I want people to do, someone who may be watching this, is to get yourself checked. Go to all of your appointments, right? Keep your appointments. Talk to your family. Talk to your family members about your health. I think that's important. Yeah.
And medical history too.
Hmm?
It's and medical history too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like try to find that out. Hey, that might help.
Because genetics is, there are a couple of things that can cause it, or environment is one, genetics. I think it's a mutation, genetic mutation. So that can be caused by a few things. Yeah, you have those hard conversations. We started having them with Mama. About Mama, and we just continued to have some more.
I'm not really sure how to word this question, but I just thought about it just now. Because of the openness and you talking about it, and all right, you about to have the surgery on Tuesday, and then you'll find out more from there, right? About how exactly how serious the cancer is,
Right.
the breast cancer it is.
Yes.
Right? When you find that out, then what? Because now people gonna be invested, like, and not that they matter per se, but
Yeah.
do you want people to even ask you, like, hey, what'd you find out? Did you find, like, that's what I mean when I ask that, because we speak about other stuff, and then stuff gonna happen, and then you're gonna get your phone back at some point, and you know, people that watch stuff a week later, hey, I seen a clip of, they said you had breast cancer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think
would you want the privacy, or
I'd like privacy. I would say at least for like a few weeks. I'll plan to be back on the scene in some shape, form, or fashion by let's say November, mid-November.
I think Valentine's Day is fine. I think you kind of, I'm with you. I think you kind of moving too fast now. I don't know, man. Just take the rest of the year off.
I'm not saying back on the scene like I'm gonna go ahead and get all the
We never know with you, because you be everywhere.
But no, yeah, privacy is a good thing. I think it's actually I think that is important as far as not interfering with recovery. But I don't have any problem not picking up the phone or not answering the text.
Ooh, you made him laugh.
Or not. I mean,
I'm the same way, just every day though.
yeah.
I'll watch it ring out.
That phone would have to be in New Zealand before that happens.
Right, exactly. I mean, especially when I feel like I'm like it's too much. I mean, even like when Mama passed, we had so many. I got so many messages. Once people started to hear that she was either sick. Well, I don't think we really didn't tell many people that she was sick. She was in the hospital, in and out for all of like 14 days before she passed. So once the word got out, then I did a quickie response to any of the messages that I responded to, who weren't family, and that was, "Thank you, I love you." I appreciate it. Thank you. Like, what can I do? I don't know. I think I just need for people to be okay with me not knowing how you can do things,
When it's something of this magnitude, and just like when it's a serious health and just not knowing uncertainty and stuff, or even if it's something even bigger than that, where it's defined as death or whatever the case may be for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's always hard to reach out. Like even my grandma passed, I didn't want people texting me. I was like, don't text me. Every time I have to say thank you, I feel like I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
And I recently had somebody that I worked with, I don't know for a long time. I don't know what happened, but apparently her 9-year-old son passed away, right? And I'm thinking like, I need to reach out. But then also I'm thinking like, I don't. Because, you don't know what that's going to do. It could help, but I don't, it ain't going to help. It won't help me. But at the same time, it's like I'm battling with like, is this person gonna feel like you didn't care or you wasn't there,
Yeah.
you know? But I also know how I felt. I didn't want nobody. I didn't want anybody to text me. And my phone went, and it's cool because you're gonna respond, But it's like I'd rather not. I was okay with not hearing from people.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no right way. And
Yeah, it's
there's no
not.
wrong way. It's how you carry it. If you don't want to answer and talk, don't answer and don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you feel like, you can, then do. But there's no right way. It's just what your comfort level is.
Yeah. And you just, got to be okay with that. Like I'll be okay with someone saying, "Hey, I really need to do something for you. What is it?" I'm like, just sit on your hands.
What you got?
Go feed my goats.
There you go, feed the goat. But she said something earlier, maybe you should do that too. Like write everything down that you do. Like think about your days, the goats, but everything you do, and you just have a list. So somebody say, "Hey, can I do something for you?" Just look at the list first, and then you say yes or no from there.
Yeah.
No, that's all covered.
What? I did have a conversation with the sisters yesterday. We were going through we have a pre and post op document I need to share with you, with some things that need to happen, checklist, all that kind of stuff. How we gonna handle meals and all that. And I had said this goes back to letting people help you. And I was like, it's already difficult for me to ask for help. I don't want to ask people for something and they're like, "Oh, no. I meant I want to help you. I want to help you like that." So I'll be like, "Okay."
Well, I can guarantee you that you're not going to run into that. I just think you're so like loved in the community. I can see somebody going above and beyond, even if you ask for something that wasn't in their realms of helping.
Yeah.
I think it'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I think so.
I told her just go ahead and accept it, and then
Yeah.
when they go away, she's gonna be mad because it's like no one's here.
There you go. Yeah. Just accept. But I'm pretty. You'll get a bunch of
It's not
support.
gonna be forever.
And I gotta tell you, Judy has been looking out for me since we found out. She's driven down a 1 million hours on the road, 5-hour drive, 4.5.
3 hours and 15 minutes, but who's counting?
Oh, okay. Who's driving that fast? That's what I need to know.
My God, we don't want to talk about.
Okay, never mind. Okay. But yeah, so Judy's been looking out for me. She has been.
If we can, because I want to kind of come to an end, but if we can we I guess now if you have something different or if you want to say something, but can you say something about Breast Cancer and Awareness Month and just the importance of getting checked and things like that?
I'm going to defer to Judy with that. She's been in the struggle and the fight for quite some time.
Yeah, about 18 years. And had I not had, there's been all this discussion, lots of research saying when a woman should or should not have a mammogram. I'm all for it. Any and every time. I had no family history, so that wasn't the issue. The issue was the cancer itself. So I am an advocate for mammograms and anything that you can do, the way that you eat, how you present yourself in life. Since I retired, exercising has been my goal, and I do as much as possible. Walk 5 miles in the morning, have an afternoon class, I go in at 6. I've learned that I love hiking. Never would have dreamed about that. But young, old, middle, in between, get your mammies grammed. Get it. Do it. It's worth it.
Definitely. And for you, Karen, anything you want to leave the people with as far as getting checked and things of that nature?
I just want to just piggyback on what Judy said about getting things, getting your health checked, getting your mammograms regular for of course mammogram. Actually, and we didn't mention this, but there are men that have breast cancer as well.
Yeah, I seen that movie one time when I was younger. I was very puzzled. I was like 8, so I knew that it was a thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would just say take care of your health. Move around a bit. Eat right. Exercise. I asked Dr. Mondi once. I can't remember whether you were in the room. You and Shell were in the room. What do I need to do before the surgery? Like, what kinds of things do I need to do? Like, to prepare. He said, there's things that your grandma taught you: eat right, exercise. Don't let go of your vices, kind of thing. But so those are the things that I have. Men get checked, the prostates checked, all of that.
And journal, write it down, because some things you'll remember, some things you won't. But write it down so that you can share your experience with someone else. You're blessed to be a blessing. So help someone else. I don't think this thing is going away anytime soon. So you want to be able to be in a position to help anyone that may approach you. And you will. You'll have angels all around to help.
And I want to say just really, really quickly, I wanted to record this. I wanted to have this conversation before the surgery so I can look back on it
I got you.
throughout recovery, document the process to some degree.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because this is the last question I got for real. I always say that, but it's the last one for real.
Okay.
It's for you. It's what plans do you have for once you beat this? Like, what's your plans after that?
My plans once I beat this are to continue to be fabulous and continue to make magic.
That's an amazing answer. I like that. I like that.
Only from the cool. The Empress of cool.
Continue to make magic. Whether it's telling the, I've thought about that question. I don't have an answer for it. I kind of feel like I should be led to do some advocacy work. I don't know if that's my ministry. It feels like the right thing to do, but I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
The beauty in the answer is just having an answer. That's all. That's what I'm looking for. I never what anybody say about saying something. That's all.
Yeah.
If it was a pause, then I'd be worried, But no, having an answer is all that matters. One of those questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Get it right either way. As long as
You passed.
But I did appreciate the conversation, and thank you for coming on and telling your story as well. I do appreciate it, and I've always been big on breast cancer awareness month anyway. So I never planned nothing, but it's the first time. And I mean, you didn't tell me this was it, but I'm glad it was it. So I don't have to go looking. I just kind of in this family, so it's all good.
It's the
Thank you for having me. Thank you
the first date.
for helping me. Let me help you.
Thank you.
Love you so much.
I love you.
All right, One Message Podcast. We out. Thank y'all again.
Thank you.
Thank you.